it kind of became a theme, specifically in that first half. The inability to stop or get stops in the run game, and that just eats away at some yardage and creates some situations. There's a theme there. There's a theme there forming over the last few weeks. The opponent makes plays, we make plays, and then at some point there's a jockeying back and forth who makes the most on the given day. And we're just not making enough plays defensively.
I think, ultimately, just getting the right guys out there at the right time, coaches are going to fix. I was walking to the tunnel walking to the locker room with Grinch after the game, and, it was just a brief conversation, and it ended up, the final word said, we're going to figure this out, we're going to get it fixed. And it's just the inconsistency is a big disappointing part, because we see what we're capable of doing when we get 3 and outs or stops like that when we need them. But it feels like when the game starts, or if the game is a possession or two, in our favor or something like that, it just seems like that's when the inconsistency started coming in. But it feels like whenever we need to stop or whenever we need a big play, it seems like that's when we get it the most. And then that's just a mindset we cannot have if we want to be that elite team that we have the aspirations of being.
All right, well, welcome to another edition of the Isaiah Thomas Show. As we're doing it a little bit differently this week. I told Isaiah, "Hey, man, let's." I actually gave let's throw this out there. Like, I gave the option, like, "Hey, things are kind of crazy right now. Do you maybe want to push this until Sunday until things kind of blow over?" You're like, "No, we're doing this. We're doing this." You're always committed to doing the show. So I want to thank you for that first off. And, I told you, like, let's just get the bad out of the way. Let's just go in early. We'll talk about what happened. We'll show some of the bad highlights. You heard Alex Grinch there. You heard from yourself there. I think it's a little warm for a beanie yet, but, I guess you got new gear and you wanted to show it off. That's all I can think of.
Had to.
So, okay, so let's talk about it, Isaiah. Where is this team right now? Where is this defense coming off of Kansas? A game that, personally, a lot of people are shocked in that the defense had such a difficult time, such a poor start. What's this team's mindset right now?
Well, mindset for sure is next game. Coach Riley emphasized the sky isn't falling. We're undefeated. Haven't been undefeated since 2004. So, obviously we're doing something right. And, just how we feel as a defense, we didn't play to our standard, this past game. But, allowing 23 points isn't the standard anymore, or how they got 23 points, so to speak. But, we changed some things up at practice. The lineup, we got players moving around. I'm moving inside and outside to inside. But, we're in a good place, mentally. People would think that we're getting barked at and stuff like that. But really, it's just self-inflicted things that we got to fix on. So it's nothing that people should be nervous or worried about. Because like I said, the sky isn't falling. We'll be just fine.
Well, and, fans hear that. And obviously, there's a whole thing we can get into with how the fans are reacting, how the players are reacting, how the coach is reacting. Fans obviously think that it's full, metal, full gas to the full pedal to the metal is what I'm trying to say. My God, that the coaches have to be in everybody's asses, and like everybody has to be held accountable, and this and that. I don't know. So for the fans that think like it's 24/7, coaches just killing you guys, or you guys just going back to your rooms and stewing all day, I guess that's just not reality.
Nah, not at all. I know for fans, games can be an emotional roller coaster, and they want to, handle things in their mindset of how they would do things, so to speak, going to practice, and just assuming how coaches are on the Division I level. But coaches have to approach situations differently. They're coaches, so they gotta handle things a certain way, because not every player or every team responds the same way. So at times we need to be barked at, but at times we need to understand that coaches just need to be calm and relaxed. Like guys, calm down. We got the right players in this room. We got the right players on this team to make the things happen that we need to happen. And, fans are fans. They'll pick you up when you're down, but sometimes it feels like they'll kick you while you're down. But I know it's out of the best interest of them to just want to see it succeed. So fans are fans, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there and perform.
What it comes down to is you're all on the same team. It's just that they don't really have the insight into how this all works, and they probably just kind of they see a lot of movies. They had their own high school experiences where you could win games on emotion in high school. I mean, that just happens, and sometimes it happens in college, but not often. And so I'm curious. Like, I think the question fans have is, okay, well, if you guys aren't panicking, how does this thing get better? How do you get better moving forward? Because they look at this team as, it just overall, it hasn't gotten better. So how does it get better if you guys aren't willing to just be yelled at 24/7 and stew in your back in your dorms all day long?
I think it just gets better with, us believing in one another and, taking our process serious regardless of who we're playing. I know I said it in the media last week, and I even said it during the team meeting, is that you got to attach your process to your passion instead of attaching your process to your opponent. Because last week's episode, I even said that if Kansas had players on this team that they could blend right in and fit to our standard and scheme, because, at the end of the day, they're Division I athletes. And like you said, in high school, you can win games off emotion or off a rivalry game. I know when we beat up on Edison my 3 out of 4 years there, some of those games were built off of emotion. But in college, everyone, it's an even playing field. What separates you is when that ball is kicked off.
Let me ask about, leadership on this team. Obviously, you're a big part of that. And I know, you've kind of felt your way, in how to lead and to be a better leader over the years. Is there something, when the coaches can't just, continually just browbeat the players, does there have to be something internally from the players, from yourself, from Jeremiah, from the other captains, maybe Nick? I mean, what kind of role do you guys have to have in order to pick everybody up and make this thing, better moving forward?
Yeah, I know for one big role that we have is we have to practice what we preach. So basically what we say, we have to display that on the field or on the practice field or off the field. And I know individually for myself, how I lead in the position that I'm in, I use me as a younger guy of how I didn't have a lot of success, but how I prevailed through adversity and, put my mind to it and believed in myself. And with team success comes individual success. And Coach Grinch's scheme allowed me to have the success that I have. So pushing young guys and having them believe in themselves and believe in Coach Grinch and these coaches, that's how I lead in particularly.
Yeah, there are some positives that I think you can take out of this game. One of them in particular, I want to show you some footage here of Keyshawn Lawrence. Thought he had a really good game against Kansas, and a guy that's starting to kind of find his way a little bit. Here's I want you to kind of talk us through kind of what you see of him, throughout this game, and obviously made the big strip when you needed a momentum changer, but Key just really seemed to take a big step forward in this game.
Oh yeah, Key's a high flyer, man. He flies around. He just wants to make plays. A lot of people don't know this, but me and Keyshawn, we were roommates that week. We played K-State. We were roommates on the road. And I don't know how we ended up roommates. Usually you're roommates with the same position group or so. But Keyshawn was my roommate, man. It was great, man.
Really?
Me and Key, we're great friends. Yeah, we're great friends. But, we just got closer that weekend. We just talked about life, football, and all that. I got to know him better and know why he plays this sport. And he's funny, man. He's country, real country.
Really?
Sometimes you don't know what he's saying. Yeah, but he's cool, though, man.
You wouldn't think. I think is he a Brentwood kid? Like that's a ritzy neighborhood in Tennessee.
Exactly he's from, but wherever it is, I think he's from his isolated own area because sometimes you do not know what he's saying. It's real country. It's real thick too.
Okay, so there was a lot of bad, but there was also some good, and we're going to get into that kind of when we reboot the show. But just to kind of cover this and talk about where things stand right now. Texas Tech coming in, they just fired their head coach Matt Wells. Does that kind of put you guys on guard a little bit when you have a coach that's fired and you have an embattled staff and you don't maybe know what to expect? Like they might throw the kitchen sink at you guys.
Yeah, that's a tricky situation because it can either go great for them or go haywire because I know that they can respond like, okay, now we can play our brand of football. Like maybe he was holding them back or, maybe that, without him being there, they might fall apart. So it's a tricky situation. But like I said, we can't take them lightly because it's an even playing field. They're Division I athletes just like us. We're not going to win just because Sooners is on our chest. We make Sooners come to life. OU is OU because of the players. It's not just because of the name itself. We could be named anything in the world, but we got to make it come to life.
One last thing I want to ask you about last week. We talked on Wednesday. You felt good about things. Do you look back at anything and say, okay, that's something that I should have seen, or that's something that I'm going to look forward moving forward in terms of preparation?
I'm glad you said that, because preparation-wise, the only thing I can look back and think to myself, like as a team, that some things that I just look and didn't think was a big issue, but now looking at it and how it displayed on the game, on the game tape, I look at it like, okay, that's something I can't take lightly, something I got to address as a team captain or just as a defensive leader. But I mean, we addressed that this week. I know I did in certain situations, and I still got to hold myself accountable, because I also said to the team that before you hold anyone else accountable, you got to hold that man in the mirror accountable as well.
All right, the real Isaiah Thomas show starts now. Welcome back. It is the Isaiah Thomas Show, I don't know what we call it, the non-accusatory edition, like we just finished off. So, Isaiah, fix it. Like, no, we're not going to do that. I told you, we put that in the past. We did our look back at Kansas and everything that went wrong. And so now we move forward. You are 8-0. I know you were the first one to kind of tweet that out after the game. And I think some others followed. Maybe Key followed along. But, you wipe this. Is it that easy to just wipe the slate clean, or is it actually easier because guys want to be better?
Oh, yeah. For me, I know it's a lot easier because I know guys want to be better. And I know the goals and aspirations that this team has, and even as individuals. So it's not more so me like brushing it off like, okay, last week was last week. It's over. Going on to this next week. Nah, last week is still in the back of my mind, so to speak, in what we could do better. Not at the end result. Glad we won, like I said. You always got to appreciate a win. I'd rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss. And in this situation, it was an ugly win, but I'll take it because we still control our own destiny and we still control the things that we want to do.
Take us inside kind of, what, Lincoln Riley is like, because, I know he's dealing with the offense. Is there really a lot of interaction? Is it mainly after practices when he kind of sits you guys down and, kind of delivers the message that he wants to deliver for that day? Is that kind of how that works, or do you get other opportunities to hear from him or him to kind of impart his message to the team?
Well, yeah, Riley's definitely first thing I think of when I think of Coach Riley is a player coach. He puts his players first and he relates from where we are. Then he'll speak from his perspective. But when he relays his messages on those Mondays or any days we have a team meeting, and at the end of practice as well, like you said. And they really hit home for us because, he's a coach who's had a lot of success at a very young age, and he's here for a reason. And obviously he wouldn't be in this position if he didn't know what he was talking about. He got us to 8-0, so, we got to take it to heart and keep running with it.
Offensively, it's been different. I know the first half against Kansas was not ideal. Not a lot of possessions. Maybe the defense's fault for not getting off the field a little bit. I'm not pointing anything. We're not finger pointing. Now, let me ask you, how hard is that to keep guys, and how much do you have to keep a lookout for guys? When finger pointing. When everybody's not playing the way that they want.
It can be tricky because you can have guys that want to address situations or address certain things, and it's coming from the heart, like them just wanting them to do better. But from a guy who doesn't take that very well, they would think of that as finger pointing. Like I know a guy who's real emotional and passionate is Brian Asamoah or Justin Burrows, and how they come off can seem like they're playing the blame game or pointing the finger, and they're not doing that whatsoever. Like me knowing Justin, we came in the same year, Sooner Squad 17, stand up. But it's just how they approach it, and I just know they want the best for this team and this defense. So it's not hard because we know what we want to do, but we're just holding each other accountable.
Well, and the offense did get it going in the second half. And I'm just kind of curious, Caleb Williams, and now that you see him as the starting quarterback, I know you love Caleb Williams. I'm going to play some good stuff for you because I know you love watching Caleb Williams, especially on those 4th and shorts.
Go ahead. He loves Drake too, so man, he has my right of passage.
Oh, really? So you Drake fans together?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
So
here's let's just go through some highlight reels of the offense and let you check them out, and you can give me a idea of kind of good to see Jaden Hazelwood with another TD this weekend.
Yeah.
But this is the
Caleb is
reverse
special,
to
man.
Trayvon West here. Yeah.
Hey, Trey West, one thing about Trey is the quietest person I've ever met. And anybody that has any questions about him, I promise you will say the same thing.
Really?
A man of few words. I've heard him say 6 words as long as I know him. And I'm not being dramatic.
That's pretty good. Here is, this is the touchdown to Jeremiah over the middle.
Yep.
Jeremiah if he did not get on that fumble in the first half, I mean, my God. He was.
Yeah, it could have got
And
bad.
here's your favorite right here.
Now, Caleb is real special. I actually seen a tweet that he's a mixture between Baker, Kyler, and the body of Jalen Hurts. And I think that's pretty accurate, man. I mean, he's a special young kid, and he has a chance to do some things that quarterbacks here didn't do. And that's saying a lot, knowing the quarterbacks that we produce, man. And I like Caleb a lot. We actually went to Dancing Crab together. It's a seafood spot here in Norman, man. And he's real weird, man. He's cool, though.
See, but that's exactly how I see him. Like, he seems like a weird guy. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they saw the fingernail painting and stuff during the offseason, they were like, okay, what's this about? Like, I get...
No, like, he's different, but in his own way.
Let me ask you, I get, like, a Prince vibe from him. Is that accurate?
No, I think, that's definitely fairly accurate. I mean, not an insult, but a fair comparison. I think he would agree to it.
Like, you think he's into... Like, he wouldn't be offended if he got the, hey, you kind of have a Prince vibe. Because, I mean, Prince did all right in the Love Life, character. So.
I know that's right.
Let's go back. I'll go back into some plays for you here so you can look at them. I think we must have ventured into defensive plays at some point. This is my good stuff file. So here's Caleb hitting it. Man, the hit at the goal line here, if you can hear it, that's a hit, dude.
Oh.
That dude brought it for Kansas. It was.
Yeah, I give Eric a lot of hard time. I always say Eric's 5'5" and a quarter.
Now, you guys, I've seen you two on Insta. You hang out quite a bit, don't you and Eric?
Yeah. Me and Eric are real close. He's been to my house dozens of times. Yeah, I used to cook pretty often in the summer and during the fall.
Just a little bit more. Here's the Keyshawn Lawrence again, the strip. Justin Broyles jumps on it. Just a huge play in that game.
Oh, yeah. I think they both symbolize energy, effort, and execution.
Here's the play of plays. Caleb Williams taking it.
Now, that play, I didn't know what to think. Initially, I was like, defense, we're back on the field. I didn't know the whole behind the line of scrimmage, forward handoff rule. Didn't know that. Only thing I could think of how that could possibly be legal is that they could say Kennedy fumbled it, I guess. But the awareness of Caleb, it's second to none.
Yeah, and I mean, there is that rule. Like, it couldn't have been a fumble because the only person that could advance it on fourth down is the person who fumbled it.
Right, and I didn't know that.
The final touchdown. But yeah, I mean, as much as everybody is focused on, everything that went bad, there were some good things that happened in that game, especially in the second half. I know a lot of it, unfortunately, wasn't from the defense, but the offense really got it going. And, I mean, once again, 8-0, there are some things that have to happen, but you guys still sitting here with a chance to become a dominant football team. I still believe that.
Oh, yeah, I do too. Yeah, no doubt in my mind. I mean, we got athletes all across the field. And, I mean, they're special athletes too, as we all know and see. I mean, we wouldn't be special if we wouldn't find a way to become 8-0. I mean, we're one of the few teams that's undefeated. And, I mean, we just got a lot of guys. A lot of players are different. For instance, like Brian's different. Like, he's scared of the dark. I mean, it's crazy to me. But it's just little things like that just makes us different. But, it is what it is.
By the way, I want to remind people that all kinds of stuff going on. Want to remind people to subscribe, hit that like button down below, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Also, I want to remind people, hit up. I know it's probably not the greatest time to invite people onto your social media pages, but Isaiah Thomas, you see his Twitter and his Instagram bios right there, his handles right there. So go check him out on Instagram and Twitter and follow him. Also, for us, Sooner Scoop, I'm Carey Murdock. Of course, I never introduced myself or mentioned my name, which is probably the worst form of television in the history of mankind. But the Unofficial 40 podcast, we just released one. We release those every Wednesday. Isaiah, don't go listen to that. I don't recommend it for you. Eddie's a
100%.
little upset right now, so whatever. I think everybody kind of was. So it was a little out over the top today. But youtube.com/Soonerscoop. Check out our other content. There's Sight and Sounds every week. And I know the views are a little down this week, but hopefully after Texas Tech, everybody gets excited once again, and that train keeps on rolling downhill. By the way, basketball is coming up pretty soon. You're a hooper yourself, once a great hooper. I'm curious, did you ever hang around much with basketball players? Did you ever befriend anybody? Like, were you in Trae Young? Did you ever hang with him when he was at OU?
Actually, yeah, like you said, me and Trae Young, we both came in the same year, 2017, and I mean, we didn't just hang out like on a common basis, but if we seen each other out, we definitely say what's up, hang out for a little bit wherever we were at. But outside of that, yeah, like Brady Manick, I was cool with Brady. I didn't really hang out with too many, but except Devion Harmon, I was real cool with Devion Harmon. We were close, and I played a little basketball. My dad Memorial, 2-time state champ, made All-State in 2 sports, just a little accolades here and there.
Now, what was your best basketball offer out of high school?
I never had any offers coming out of high school. I mean, more so because, my head coach told him, this guy's full throttle on football, all that. But I was good, though. I know my best game statistically was 32 points and 15 rebounds. That was my best game. And other than that, I played pretty well because I made All-State, so obviously I was pretty decent.
Now, what did you have in the state championship game?
State championship game, I didn't do too well. It was more so.
I didn't know this. I'm not setting you up or anything. So, I mean.
Nah, I didn't do too well stats-wise, but I mean, we won about 20-plus my senior year. Junior year, we should have won. Lost on the buzzer beater to Carl Albert. Man, that one hurt. But other than that, I was pretty well.
Well, Texas Tech coming up this weekend. Then you finally get a rest. Is it, I don't know, did it recharge the batteries a little bit, coming away a little disappointed from this weekend? I mean, I know week 8, playing Kansas. I mean, you talked a lot about it. You had to treat them like a faceless team. Obviously, that didn't happen. But do you feel like this week has been better in terms of just guys having a little bit extra juice in their step?
Yeah, definitely, because I know one of our standards is a hunger to continuously improve. And whenever we have a win that feels like not necessarily a loss, but not to our potential or our standard, it just drives us that next week. It fuels us in at least preparation-wise. And we do different things like here and there to compete better, to try to have that translate on the field. So I feel good about it.
See, here's the thing. When you get old, you just start planning out, like when you get vacation time, you start planning out like months and months. Like I work with a guy that plans out literally like his vacation's like a year and a half in advance because he's just he's psychotic. But like, do you know what you'll do on the bye week yet, or does that even enter your mind? Like, do you have plans for like a really relaxing week when you finally get there?
I know for me in particular, this time for a bye week for next week, I know that I'm gonna go ahead and probably go back to Tulsa and visit the boys' home again, or do something in my community just to give back. I've been very fortunate, very blessed to be here, to have the success that I've had. So I know for my bye week, I'm gonna go ahead and spend some time with some community people who are less fortunate than me. But I know other than that, relax, chill for a little bit, play the game, probably chill with my lady a little bit. So something like that.
Now, what's your go-to place in Tulsa to eat?
I'm real big on Waffle House, man. But outside of that, I might go to. I'm not too big on any different smaller, food places. But there's a place called Waffle That in Tulsa, really good place. Outside of that, I just really eat at the occasional places that everyone else knows.
Now, did you grow up like a Coney Islander fan? Or is that?
Oh, yes,
okay.
yes. There was one out there in North Tulsa at my grandma's church when I was younger. It was one literally connected to the church. I used to eat there a lot.
Yeah, I ate that growing up. I still love it to this day. As I get older, it gets harder on me to eat it. You realize you're getting old, but like it literally takes years off your life the older you get eating there. So
I think Caleb will be in that conversation. I know he has a little hot dog sponsorship.
Yeah, he does.
Brings a hot dog every day.
Coney Islander, if you want to sponsor Isaiah's show, we're here for you. I'm a big fan of Elmer's Barbecue too. By the way, I don't know if you've ever been there.
No.
On Peoria, it's pretty good. So
I've never been there.
Anyway, so I appreciate it. Another great week of the show. We hope that everybody's fired up after the Tech game. Really looking forward to seeing how things go with the defense. And there actually are highlights of you in the KU game. I just didn't show them, so I'll put them. They will be fine. in the montage of the pregame when we reboot the show. So.
Oh, yeah, that's what I like to hear.
There you go. Isaiah, appreciate it, man. Best of luck to you this week. God, I always want to tell you to stay healthy, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to be the jinx. Like, I'm just cutting that. There's just going to be a big beep there. Like, it never happened. We appreciate you, as always, and we'll be back again next week after the Texas Tech game. Thanks so much, man, and best of luck to you this week against the Red Raiders.
Appreciate you, Carey. Thank you, guys.
Until next time, I'm Carey Murdock. He is Isaiah Thomas, and we'll be back here once again for the Isaiah Thomas Show on Soonerscoop.com and YouTube.